welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. Gemma here. I'm going to be talking a bit about societal rejection today because that is something that I think most people with OCD experience at some point or another, and that can display in many different themes: ROCD, POCD, HOCD. I mean, even some things like sensory motor, I would say societal rejection can appear in. For instance, worrying that people are going to notice your obsessive swallowing, obsessive blinking, and thinking that people are going to judge you for it or hear about your OCD and judge you for that. So I think it can kind of creep into everything, and even people without OCD. I think the majority of the population, I would go as far as to say, experience some level of fear over societal rejection. In fact, I was speaking to a hairdresser this morning who, as far as I know, doesn't have OCD, but she was talking about wanting to change careers and that she was just nervous to do it in case they rejected her or in case they said that she couldn't do what it was that she was wanting to transfer over to. And it stops people from doing so many things. The fear of not getting it right, or the fear of someone saying, no, you're not good enough to do this. It stops people from doing tons of things like dreams, daily things. And I mean, it used to be me as well. I used to not do a lot of things because I was so scared that someone would tell me I wasn't good enough, or I would feel like I wasn't good enough. But I think once you kind of go through OCD recovery, and once you do a lot of things like shame attacks and put yourself in these situations where you're open to rejection, so going for promotions, jobs, going on dates, reaching out to people and asking if they want to do something with you, all these situations that you can put yourself in where you leave yourself open to rejection, they're all such good practice. Well, if you are rejected, even better, because that's practicing the actual being rejected. But they're also good just to show you that sometimes you will go out of your comfort zone and you will try and do things, and maybe you won't be rejected for them, but you never know if you're going to be rejected. That's the point, because you never know how people are going to react to you. You could be the nicest acting person in the whole world, and say to someone, do you want to go out and get a drink, or do you want to meet up and do something, or this person that you've met and you think that they would be a really good friend, and you ask them to do something with you, and you could be the sweetest, loveliest acting person, but they just don't like you, or they just don't want to be your friend, or they just don't want to go out with you. And you can't control that. You can't change what other people think, and you can't change the way they view you, the way they act, anything about them. So it's never a good reason to not do something because of how people might react, because you don't know how they're going to react. And just guessing how they're going to react, all that does is it hinders you. It stops you from doing things that you want to do. If there's something that you're wanting to do, and the only reason you're not doing it is because you're scared of being rejected, that's just crazy. Like, you could miss out on so many experiences through doing it. I mean, you could miss out on every experience, because pretty much every day we put ourselves in situations where we, you say to someone in work, can I borrow a pen? They could turn around and say no. They could. And you could be that extreme in your fear of societal rejection that you don't even want to ask someone if you can borrow a pen, or if, they wouldn't mind grabbing you a glass of water when they grab theirs, or, all these minor things that are just everyday things. that you stop yourself from doing because you're so scared that someone's going to tell you that they don't want to do it, or you're just going to get the feeling that you're an inconvenience, that you're, you know, not liked. I think people just really like to be liked, and there's nothing wrong with liking to be liked. I really like being liked. I love it when, you know, my friends say something nice about me, or someone gives me a compliment, or it makes me feel really good. But then on the other hand, when they don't do that, that doesn't bother me. If they're mean to me, yes, I feel bad, and yes, that's absolutely fine to feel bad about it. As I say constantly, acceptance is not agreement, and we all say it constantly, but I just wish I could give everyone the gift of understanding exactly what that means. And over time with belief work, it becomes so apparent. But to people on the beginning of their journey, at the beginning of my journey, I really didn't understand acceptance versus agreement. And I thought, well, no, but you're condoning behaviours and you're saying that you don't care if you do that. It's not about that. It's not about not caring about things. You can care about things. You can want people to like you. There's nothing wrong with wanting people to like you. There's nothing wrong with wanting people to think highly of you. It's when you place that demand, and when you say, if they don't like me, I will be really upset. You know, I'll be absolutely miserable. I have to have their approval. I must have their approval. I must have approval of people that are important. I must have the approval of my boss. I must have this. It's all of those demands that you place on those things that you want to have. And you turn that wanting to have them into a need, which is when the feelings become as severe as they do. It's when, you know, a bit of healthy feeling sad turns into depression. It's where a bit of healthy feeling nervous turns into anxiety. Healthy feeling a bit pissed off with something turns into rage. Like, it's all of those like minor emotions, not minor, but like normal. I'm going to use it. And of course, we know there's no such thing as normal. You know, who decides the level of normal when it comes to emotions? But the level of emotion that people without OCD experience, let's say. And then we take that and we add all of our irrational beliefs onto that, and I'm not saying people without OCD don't hold irrational beliefs, because they do, but they also don't have OCD, so it doesn't affect them in the same way that it affects us. When we have those irrational beliefs, it goes from 0 to 100, and all the really strong emotion and the strong irrationale just builds up in us, and it creates this anxiety. It creates this OCD response that we have come to know very, very, very well. And yeah, it's just about looking at those beliefs and breaking them down so that you can see that even if that person doesn't like you, if there's a person at work that you're, you know, always trying to be extra nice to because you think they don't like you, stop. Just stop. That'll be a great exposure for rejection. Is they don't like me, I'm not going to make the effort anymore, and just stop. And if they don't like you, that's absolutely fine. You don't need people to like you. I like it when people at work like me. I really do. I really want to be liked, but I don't need people to like me. And if they don't like me, that's not going to affect my day. It's not going to affect the way I behave. It's not going to affect many other things. It's just not going to affect my life, because I know that I can't change other people. I can change what I'm doing. I can change the way that I'm behaving, and I can even work on the way I think. You know, the way I think can be changed, because it has been. Because I can work on that, but I can't change what other people think, and I can't change their beliefs, and I can't change their opinions. It's a fruitless task, and one that only leads to you feeling frustrated, down, anxious. And also, I said this at the beginning of the video, but I haven't really touched on it, not achieving things. The amount of things that people don't do and don't put themselves forward for because they're so scared of being rejected. You know, I've had friends that could have easily got certain promotions because they were completely qualified for the job, and they were probably who you know, the people above were looking at to get the job. But they said, I don't want to go for it just in case. I think this person might be better because of this. And you just don't know unless you try. The worst that can happen is someone can say no. Okay, that's not nice. It's not nice when you don't get something that you want. But you get the experience. You've still got something out of it. Even if it's just practicing being rejected, even if it's just learning how to sit with the discomfort of being rejected, that's something out of it. Even if that's all you get, that's still something out of it. But more than that, you could get the experience of going for another interview. You could get the experience of, you know, learning how to kind of present yourself, how to sell yourself. You could get the experience of getting feedback as to why you weren't suitable for a position, and you can look at working on that in the future. So there's so many good things that can come out of things that you think are bad. Someone rejecting you when you ask them to go out. You know, I've asked a friend a few times if they want to go out, and each time they've said no. Okay, well, you've got something out of that, because next time maybe you'll ask a different friend, and maybe that friend will want to go out. So realistically, that's still getting something from that, even if all you're getting is, well, this person maybe doesn't actually want to spend time with me because they don't want to come out, and then they're not suggesting another day or time to come out. I think they're fobbing me off. Okay, well, I know to kind of put more attention into other friendships. So even though that's a rejection, that's still getting something out of it. I went on a date, and you know, that person told me that they didn't like something about me. They thought that I kept talking over them, saying, you know, they said, I didn't think you were listening, I thought you were talking over me. That's something you can work on. And you know, if you feel like you need to, obviously, that person could have just loved the sound of their own voice and not liked any time that you spoke. But again, feedback, something you know for next time. You could go on a date and you could just really not enjoy it. And you know, that's not fear of rejection in the sense that they're rejecting you, but you could have to be the one to send a text message to say, look, I wasn't really feeling it afterwards. And it's not only a fear of rejection to self, but for me as well, I have always struggled with rejecting people because I'm such a people pleaser, because I do want people to like me. So I won't reject people even if I want to. I say I won't now, I will now. I went on a date in the past week and didn't go great. The day afterwards, I sent them a message saying, I'm really sorry, it wasn't for me. Hope you find what you're looking for. You're lovely, take care, bye. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, they appreciate the honesty, rather than what I would have done before if I really didn't want to see someone again, is I would have blocked them, because I couldn't bring myself to send that rejection message, because I would just think, I'm a horrible person, they're going to think really badly of me, I'm just going to have to block them, pretend it didn't happen, and then feel guilty about it for a few days afterwards. All you have to do is communicate. Communication is so important. And if people don't like what you've said, that's not on you, that's on them. People are responsible for their own reactions to things, their own triggers to things. And we can try to consider people, of course we can. We can try and, you know, with that text message, I of course sent a nice text message saying you're lovely, just it wasn't what I was looking for. You don't have to be nasty about things. No one has to be nasty about things, but you can just openly communicate. And if it's taken badly, that's not on you, because you can't control the way that other people think. You can't control the way that they react. You can't control the way they behave. So it's very much a case of do what you're doing. Try and be a decent person. Occasionally you'll slip up, because we all do. But you don't have to be so overly nice to people because you're terrified of what their reaction is going to be, because that's not you. Just be the way that you are, and if people like you, they do. If they don't, they don't. No matter what you do, there is not a person in this world that every single person is going to like. There's just not, because we all have completely different preferences. We all have things that we like about people that other people don't. We all have things that we dislike about people that other people may like. Some people may like people that are really loud and brash and in your face. Other people may find them really overwhelming and not like them. But for every personality, there's people that are going to love you and there's people that aren't going to. I wouldn't maybe say hate, but maybe people are going to hate you. But there'll be people that do like you as well. It just, everything is so, what's the word? Uncertain. That's a good word to use to describe this. Everything's uncertain. You can't get certainty on relationships. You can't get certainty on friendships. You can't get certainty on whether people are going to like you or not. So it really is a fruitless effort. And this isn't something that, you know, you're going to hear this video and go, oh, that's fine. I'll remember what Jenna said and I'm going to go into work and say to everyone, no, actually, I'm not making the tea this morning because I just don't care if anyone likes me or not. You're not going to believe that. And again, you don't have to be abrupt or mean or anything like that to prove a point. You just need to be the way that you are and stop trying to overcompensate. If you think someone doesn't like you, leave them be. You don't need to try and change their mind. I hope you guys have liked this video, and if you have any suggestions for any other videos at all, just pop a comment below and I will do those for you. Thank you.